Remember, all cell phones must be put away. If I see a cell phone, I will pick up your test and give you a 0. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to do was go over how to use your iClicker to do this. And it's not really difficult, so, and if you need any help, you can raise your hand during the quiz. But I wanted to go through this first. And if I get any iClicker numbers I don't recognize, I'll be emailing and saying who's this iClicker number. So this is how we go through the self-paced polling. I'm going to have to tell it to go through self-paced polling, which I do in settings. Actually, I can do it here. So I'm going to tell it to do that. And when it starts, and remember, we're on BA. So you'll start seeing that I just put 5 questions. So you turn on your orange button. You don't have to really turn it off and turn it on when I start it. You should automatically see it. But if you don't see the amount of questions listed on your iClicker, you can just turn it off and turn it back on. Or you could just hit the refresh, and then it'll come up with showing you the 5 questions, which is what I just told it to do. So it'll look like this. This is the question number you're on. So a large 1 appears. That's one of your questions. And the self-paced polling symbol is just this little guy. So you'll see that. And I have it set to ABC, so that's really all you have to choose from. I could set it to where you actually write in an answer, but I found that doesn't work that well, so we won't be doing that. To select your answer for question 1, all you do is select A, B, C, D, or E. Super easy. And then you'll see a check mark. And that check mark shows that your answer went through. So you'll see if you said 8, you'll see 8, and you'll see a little check mark. You can change this throughout the whole time that I'm doing a self-paced polling. And the last thing you send me is what I get when I stop it. And you can go back to your numbers and check, and whatever's here is what I've done. So you always want to double check before I finish and I turn off the polling. So how do you go to a different number? So choosing that number 1 is pretty easy. But then to go to a different number, you're just going to press the up button. And it's going to highlight that to 2. And then you can press up and down to go from questions 1 to 2 to 3. And you should be able to do that on your iClicker now. And fill out all the questions. You don't have to answer them in order. But just anytime while it's open, make sure you're at the right question and you have the right answer letter that is based on what you're doing. So to practice now, for question 1, send me B. Question 5, send me D. Anyone's having a problem getting to question 5? Question 2, send me E. The only issue with the iClicker is it's a little noisy. You hear that all the time. And then hopefully an error doesn't occur with my iClicker like it just did. But that's how you do it. And I have to actually, usually it only does this once in a class period, so that's good. So does anyone have any questions with that? And if you're having a question while we're doing it, raise your hand. If you turn off your iClicker, I'm still going to have the answers you sent, but you won't see the letters by the numbers. So if you're going to double check and your iClicker turned off, all you have to do just to make sure that I got the answers that you put on your paper, just re-put them in. But otherwise, if you turn them off, it doesn't mean that I won't get the answers. I still got the answers when it shows the check mark and you send them to me. And again, the last answer you sent to me is the last one. And if for some reason I'm grading and you didn't answer question 5, I'm going to look on the paper. I'm not going to look and check to make sure that your paper and your answers agree with every one. That kind of defeats the purpose of me doing it on the iclicker. But if I see something weird, I'm definitely going to double check. So make sure everything is listed on your quiz paper and clear, as well as on your iclicker, in case I do have to go back. Also, if any of the questions require any work, I will be grading that, so you only get partial credit for answering correctly on the iclicker, and the rest of the credit is coming from your work. So I will check that, so show all your work for questions that's applicable. It's not applicable for all questions. On the